I'd say so.
They came in about 7:20-ish.
Yep. Seems going on the other games, if anything.
Man, your narratives just keep getting better, Russ.
Yeah, man.
There was one less spot. I didn't get we're all filled with it. Every spot was there.
Well, we don't have either of the lineups yet.
Oh, really? Want some of my red bean bun?
Red bean bun?
Red bean bun.
Maybe
yes.
I'll have a bite, yeah.
It's the New York City Chinese bakery.
So is that considered a dessert or like a lunch thing?
Yeah, it's kind of sweet, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like a donut.
Got it.
Here,
Okay.
I'll
Let's try this out. Red bean bun. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's an acquired taste. The Asians love red bean. It's a Zuki tea.
It's like a not obnoxious punch cake.
American donuts are way better. Go down and say hi to Jack.
Detroit must be kicking off unless the apocalypse is happening over there too. Just walking out.
Thank you for your patience this evening. The game should be starting in just a few moments. Fan appreciation night here. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We'll be doing some giveaways as well. Our main focus this evening is you guys. And after the game, we stick around and autograph from the players and see what the field's all about. Thank you for coming out tonight. And we'll get started shortly.
Matt's here.
And for those of you watching the West New York Media Out of Town Sport,
We got a sponsor.
all out due to weather. So we're going to get a
New York Media Care?
pass along the word when you hear the lady.
Their keeper is really good.
Is he?
Ohio State's keeper.
Is Ohio State's keeper? Yep. See, Drogba made a contract offer to, or MLS made a contract offer to Drogba.
Did they?
Yeah.
Didn't you predict that, or maybe I just read that somewhere? That was probably gonna happen.
I was saying Chicharito, but I guess he wants $10 million a year. He's got Dos Santos. That's an awesome signing.
He went to the Galaxy, right?
Yeah, he got hurt like the second game of the, or the third game of the Copa America or Gold Cup.
U.S. plays Cuba when?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I guess I can sit down here. There's a lot of people.
You see Scott Fraunhofer threw his back out?
Yeah, he's walking around with a cane.
I walked up to him. I was like joking, "Hey, get your knees getting bad?" He's like, "No, I actually threw my back out."
Just slapped him on the back.
Yeah.
I talked to him coming in. Is that his wife that was with him?
Yep, Kristen, yeah.
I never met her.
We're gonna start talking in 2 minutes whenever Cleveland leaves the field. So we're gonna have a bit of a pregame show.
Really?
Because we have,
Oh, look at all this.
yeah, we'd be at Lysian. I mean, I don't know where they went.
Talking into this little thing and that's from me, you know? No big deal.
Oh yeah, I bet you Nick's tweeted it out. Glad you mentioned that, Mr. T, because I forgot.
What?
He asked what I was going to do for lineups.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know.
This is the most disturbing tweet I think I've ever seen a team in this league ever put out.
Especially if they're
But
going
it's not the hot dogs, it's the bucket. Like, why are they?
retweet that or quote that tweet and do
Yeah.
something. It wouldn't be Russ without doing that.
ladies and gentlemen, will be starting in just a moment. We'll just line up in the tunnel. And we'll be ready to go. We'll be reading.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Welcome to All High Stadium, where tonight we have a pivotal matchup between FC Buffalo and AFC Cleveland. Huge playoff implications in this game. FC Buffalo standing at 22 points. AFC Cleveland still has 2 games left, and they have 20 points. But if FC Buffalo wins tonight, they are in the playoffs. I'm Ben Surgimoto, joined tonight by Russ and Alina as usual. Russ, what are some things you're looking forward to for tonight's game?
Yeah, Ben, really interested in seeing how Cleveland starts, given that they broke down in Angola on the way here. They have just come off the field for warm-ups, and they appear to be, pretty sprite. But yeah, it's kind of an odd night tonight over in Indiana, the pivotal Indiana Fire game, where any kind of Indiana loss over their last 2 games would result in FC Buffalo going to the playoffs automatically. That was canceled due to thunderstorms. So a little bit of a weird night tonight, but really looking to see how Cleveland responds coming out the gate, and how Buffalo can. It really says a lot that they're able to be able to come out of this game strong and try to get that early goal.
Yeah, it seems like a big night. It's a great crowd. The rain has held off. It's a very nice, cool, a little bit humid atmosphere. But yeah, Buffalo, this is it. This is the biggest game in 2 years for them. So we'll have to see, how they can deal with that pressure and how they can deal with this, maybe not adversity, but this wrench in the plans of the evening so far.
Russ, you're going through the starting lineups right now. We can talk about FC Buffalo's. We got Andrew Coughlin, the usual starting goalie in net. The back four that we've seen for most of the year, especially the second half of the season, in Adam Lauko, Fox Slotemaker, Kendall McFadden, and Connor Willings. Kendall McFadden, the MITRE NPSL Player of the Week this past week. That's for the entire NPSL, too. That's all 50 teams. That's not just the Midwest region.
That's right.
In the midfield, we have Rob Brandel, Chris Walter, Anthony Rosano, Brian Knapp, and Andrew Ferguson. And up top, Russ, your favorite player, I think, is Gwes Albangwasi. And huge expectations for him tonight, because the first time that these two teams played back June 27th, where FC Buffalo and Cleveland tied 1-1, FC Buffalo didn't have that striking threat that they have now in Albangwasi.
That's right, Ben. And don't discount the effect of Brett Larocque coming off the bench. He's FC Buffalo's leading goal scorer so far this season. Really hasn't started that many games, if any. Can't really remember if he has, but he's been a huge factor for Buffalo so far.
All right, we're going to stand for the national anthem here. now after the national anthem. Just going over the two coaches, Brendan Murphy for FC Buffalo and for AFC Cleveland, their first-year head coach Carter Poe. He's a former player. And there still hasn't been a big transition for Carter Poe in his first year at the helm. It seems like he's really galvanized the Cleveland team into the playoff picture. And with Brendan Murphy, looks like FC Buffalo has a chance of returning to the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. So,
yeah, that's right. And under Coach Murphy, they've enjoyed some really good success. Last season wasn't a sterling year. They missed the playoffs, but they did see some really spectacular play up top from Russ Cicerone. So, if nothing else, all 3 years under Brendan Murphy have either been exciting or entertaining. So it's really been a great stretch for the club. But again, this is the most important match since that playoff loss to Erie in 2013. So really a lot on the line. There's a lot of expectation. You can kind of feel a special atmosphere in the air tonight. The situation room's in good voice, and it looks to be a very good crowd. And we're all just waiting to get started.
We back for them because they haven't seen. And they'll probably have some pretty important minutes that they'll play in the second half. Brett Lorenzi, Buffalo's best attack this year. As well as Nan. So, pretty good depth to FC Buffalo. I'd say a full-strength squad. We have FC Buffalo now taking the field, wearing their home blues. We haven't seen the blues in a while, Russ, as I recall.
We have not.
Home blues with blue shorts and blue socks. Yellow trim and yellow numbers as well. Dambrot to run over this position for AFC Cleveland. AFC Buffalo staying limber. We'll see how the teams start out. AFC Cleveland with possession off the bat. Possessing in the back. That's Stephen Meyer, I believe, back there. As well as Robbie Dambrot and Mike Derizik. Nice nutmeg there by Schultz. Plays square. Now Tom Beck has some space to run forward. McFadden steps in front with a nice tackle. Back heel, Tommy Beck plays out wide. There's a service for Robbie Dambrot into number 20, James Hout, but he's whistled offsides. And we'll have a free kick upcoming for FC Buffalo.
Yeah, Cleveland doing well early to knock the ball around really incisively, getting it to the middle and playing that through ball in. Just missed time to run a little bit.
A nice little nutmeg there too from Nate Schultz. It takes a little bit of stones to do that early on, especially when you're an outside back.
Yeah, with Rosano pressing so high too.
Andrew Coughlin to take this goal kick.
Coughlin was excellent the past few weeks, really, and especially in Cleveland with that 1-1 draw, preserving that point on the road for Buffalo.
Cleveland headed back towards their own goal. James Hout plays Dambrot, now forward to Suljevic. Suljevic weaves away from Andrew Ferguson, still has it now on the left side. Almost gets bodied off the ball. Ferguson steps in, flag is raised, and it'll be a free kick for Cleveland. Ruled a foul on Andrew Ferguson. Colton Long plays square to Stephen Meyer for AFC Cleveland. Meyer with a dangerous ball back to Colton Long. Fortunately, no one was attacking them for FC Buffalo. And now Ivanov clears downfield. Adam Rocco wins that ball for FC Buffalo out of the air. It falls to Schultz. Schultz square to Derizik. Derizik back to Colton Long. Colton Long, who plays his college soccer at Niagara University. His college teammates with Andrew Ferguson, and Julian Akizi, who's not in the 18 tonight due to an injury. Here's Suljevic inside. Has Gwes Abogwasi pressuring him. Sees Stephen Meyer. Meyer drives the ball down the line in the direction of a sprinting Antonio Manfoot, but Coughlin is quick to react to that and picks the ball up on the edge of the box for FC Buffalo. Just 3 minutes in here. FC Buffalo and AFC Cleveland, and just the massive match that Russ said. This is probably the biggest match since that FC Buffalo's played since that 5-2 playoff loss to Erie in 2013. If they win tonight, FC Buffalo, it's the winning in. That was the hashtag that was patrolling Twitter earlier today. And it's true, FC Buffalo gets 3 points tonight. They are in the postseason. Nice wriggle away by Dan Kanarchuk. Kanarchuk now gives it back to Brian Knapp. Knapp tries to play in Gwes Abogwasi. Russ, we've seen some communication problems in the 2 games where Knapp and Abogwasi have started together. There's not a ton of very good connection there.
Yeah, and Gwes, this is only his 3rd game with the club, so It's going to take some time, but time is something that Buffalo doesn't have. Really, this is the last regular season game in the playoffs, possibly right around the corner. So it'd be nice to see them combine well tonight and get some kind of chemistry going.
Robbie Dambrot plays in Tom Beck. The flag is up on this near side. And the second offside's on the AFC Cleveland Royals. FC Buffalo playing not a super high back line, but a smart enough back line where AFC Cleveland trying to get in behind, but getting a little bit too excited.
Yeah, Cleveland doing well to really dictate the tempo so far, and Buffalo's done well to keep that line, like you said. But we have to be careful here with Buffalo. Given that last week with Lansing, they really didn't do well out of the gates, and Lansing controlled a lot of that first half.
Abogwasi wide to Anthony Rosano on the left side, just about to enter the 18, slices down towards the end line, cuts back, slips, and Antonio Manfred's back to track for Cleveland. Tom Beck chest down to Suljevic. Suljevic back to Nate Schultz. Schultz square to Mike Derizic. Derizic to Robbie Dambrot now on the left side. Now Colton Long for AFC Cleveland. To his center back partner, Stephen Meyer. Russ, Cleveland coming here. They don't work so far. The nice card to come out right now, and it's yellow. Wes Abogwasi still on the ground after that tackle. No ball at all there in that tackle from Derizic, and it's tough to have your defensive center mid get a yellow in the 5th minute because he's got to play a lot different for the rest of this game.
Especially dealing with those runs from Wes right down the center channel. Really flagrant foul, and Wes did well to draw it, and it was a correct call from the referee, and Buffalo have a nice early opportunity here, a little bit against the run of play.
Russ, it was that same turn that we saw Wes do just now that we saw against Erie that really gave the Erie players fits.
Right.
He just pulled back a little bit and then cut inside of Stephen Meyer, and Meyer couldn't react in time, and that forced Derizic to come all the way back and just basically take the legs out from underneath him.
Yeah, for such a big body, he's very, very explosive.
Here's Gwess and Andrew Ferguson over this free kick for FC Buffalo. Gwess will run over, it'll be Andrew Ferguson. He drives it low, blocked by the wall, and cleared away by Derizic, who just received that yellow card. Connor Williams volleys back in. Now Suljevic, it's an outside football. Dangerous in behind the FC Buffalo defense. Connor Williams pushes Antonio Manfred down. Now Manfred has a drive, but that's eaten up by Andrew Coughlin. A bizarre sequence. Connor Williams now hobbling around. Looks like his ankle's a problem. But that ball by Suljevic spinning over the top really gave FC Buffalo's back line a really difficult time.
Yeah, kind of caught them slipping on the set piece. Really quick break by Cleveland. It's always a danger you have to be aware of. And Buffalo was lucky there not to concede. Probably could have been a foul with that push-off.
It seemed like a professional foul of sorts attempted there by Connor Williams.
Yeah, could have traded yellow cards there.
And there's the soccer karma stepping in again with Williams turning his ankle a bit. He's being attended to by the trainer on the field. Hopefully it's not a serious injury. Connor Williams has had a fantastic year in his first season with FC Buffalo. Coming out of Bucknell, I know he's a guy that the coaching staff had their eyes on all the way back from the college, the fall 2014 season. And he's been versatile. He's played in a holding midfield role. He's played outside back. He's played really wherever they've asked him, and he's really been difficult to take off the field for the Blitzers.
Yeah, those utility players, Connor Williams, Rob Rendell, going into the season, players like Eric Dahl and Jabari Danzy and Julian Akese really caught my eye as, impact players, but those two players have really taken a hold of the season and become indispensable, both off the bench and starting for Buffalo. So, looks like he's going to walk this one off. Hopefully he's okay, on his own power.
Seems to be jogging pretty well. I wouldn't be shocked if he continued.
Probably just have to go to the center line for the referee's next run of play.
Just as a precaution, Kevin Kapic was warming up briefly on the bench for FC Buffalo, but does not look like he will enter the game, and Connor Williams will be all right. 7.5 minutes in, scoreless between FC Buffalo and AFC Cleveland. Game started late because Cleveland's bus broke down in Angola, New York, which kind of threw everything into havoc, and now we finally got a game underway at 8 o'clock. So at least we got the game in tonight, Ross. That's better than Indiana Fire can say.
That's true.
A flick in the midfield falls to Derizic. Derizic almost gives it away. Chased after it is Kanarchuk, and FC Buffalo has it back in their own end. Switchfield falls to Manfoot. Lauko gets in on the tackle, and he'll win that again. Lauco sprinting forward now. Rosano with the ball at his feet. Cuts inside. Gets away from Manfoot, who almost brings him down. Rosano lays off to Rob Randell, who has a drive. Blocked by Alex Savannah. West with a center, and it's 1-0 FC Buffalo. Gets on the board. 9th minute. West Abenguasi picks up a rebound after a blast from Rob Randell that Alex Ivanov couldn't handle it.
That play started with Adam Lauco doing well to recover on the mishit cross. Showed his athleticism. Played it Rosano. Gave Rosano an outlet. Rosano cuts in. Laid off to Brandel. The shot was spilled by the keeper, and Wes was there on the spot. Huge goal. Great start for Buffalo.
Ross, an absolutely terrible rebound for Ivanov to give up there. His defense, his center backs were in no man's land. Ball trickles out. Gwes Amaguasi just has a tap in. Like, that's maybe the easiest goal Gwes Amaguasi's ever scored in his life.
Yeah, he really didn't have a lot to do there. It's besides make a decoy run, but yeah, that's what all great forwards do. You know, they can create for themselves. They can finish in difficult situations and finish the easy ones like that.
Chris Walter now rolling forward. Pushed down by Suljevic. Anthony Rosano can't get to it in time. It'll be a throw-in for AFC Cleveland.
That was really FC Buffalo's first sustained move from the run of play in Cleveland's half this game so far. We had that foul and set piece. So a little bit of a mental lapse by the Cleveland defense, and like you said, a really bad rebound, and Buffalo punished them.
Suljevic drives the ball forward. That goes over Tom Beck's head and over the FC Buffalo defense's head, over to Andrew Coughlin. Coughlin takes his time, lets his teammates get forward. His punt sails long. Robbie Dambrot gets a piece of that, but it's out of play for a throw-in for the Blitzers. 1-0 FC Buffalo in the 9th minute. Gwes Abenguasi putting in the rebound of a Rob Brandel shot. Brandel hit the ball terrifically, kept it on frame, hit it hard along the ground. Ivanov spilled it, fell to Gwes Abenguasi, and he touches it just inside the post, but a very easy finish for Gwes Abenguasi. Robbie Dambrot in his own end. Plays the ball down the line, poked out of play by Brian Knapp of FC Buffalo. Throw into AFC Cleveland. Thank you for joining us here on WNYmedia.net, as well as 91.3 FM and WBNY.
His third of the season, scored by number 9, Gwes Abenguasi. Assist for number 6, from Brandel. Abenguasi from Brandel in the 9th minute.
Ross, outstanding turnout tonight too. These fans had to wait a little bit longer than they expected to see this match get underway, but I'd say there's pretty close to 1,000 people here.
Oh yeah, I would say so for sure. It's a really, really great crowd. You can always kind of tell how the crowd is. We're situated here, but you can't tell at home, right in the middle of the stand. So whenever the crowd sneaks its way up past us where our position is, you can tell it's going to be maybe 1,000 plus or more crowd.
Suljevic pulls back, sees Nate Schultz, on the wing. Manfoot plays inside as Schultz continues his run. He gets past Anthony Rosano, plays in Tom Beck, flag stays down. Beck has a chance on his left, and he mishits it. Skies wide of the goal, but Cleveland's best chance, maybe their second best chance, I'd say, after that first one that FC Buffalo dodged. But getting forward there, Manfoot a given goal. Nate Schultz coming up from his right back position. Tom Beck had a drive, but he got his fundamentals a little bit in a wreck there, and that was just skied.
Yeah, Cleveland forwards doing a good job of making runs that are really giving the FC Buffalo back line fits, and you can kind of see how disjointed they are playing off that back foot, and luckily for Buffalo, Cleveland hasn't brought their shooting boots just yet.
Nate Schultz with it now, plays back to Stephen Meyer. Meyer square to Colton Long. Long sees Tommy Beck's checking run, but that's intercepted by Slotmaker. Slotmaker gets into the attack. Ball played in the direction of Abenguasi, but it's knocked away by Meyer. A back heel in his own half by Suljevic. Doesn't lead to any problems. And Derizic has the ball at his feet. Over to Robbie Dambrot on the left wing. Dambrot sees Beck's feet. Beck lays off to Konarchuk. Konarchuk gets away, but his Walter when Tom Beck marked by Slotmaker. Back slices inside, goes to ground. And keeps it for AFC Cleveland. Back to Derzik. Derzik lays inside, off to Tommy Beck. Now here's Dambrot, far up the left wing. He gives it away. Connor Williams knocks it off of Derzik, who in a really advanced position, out of bounds for a goal kick. Good defense there by Connor Williams, who we saw pick up a bit of an ankle knock. It looks like he's doing okay now.
Yeah, Ben, Cleveland's still pressing a lot. Expect to see them doing that for the rest of this game. For folks who are not aware, they are in 4th place right now in the final playoff spot. So Buffalo wins tonight with Indiana's game canceled. No matter what, both teams will stay in that 3-4 position no matter what happens. However, with Indiana rescheduling, they've got 2 games this weekend to finish off the regular season. So still a lot on the line, and Cleveland really needs to push forward and find that equalizing goal if they want to preserve that spot.
Dangerous ball played through by AFC Cleveland, but too far, and Antonio Manfoot couldn't track that one down. Ross, one more thing about that Indiana Fire thing is they spelled lightning wrong in their tweet, and there's no excuse for that.
There is no excuse.
Good ball over the top played by Lauko. Alex Ivanov right to the edge of his box, volleys that one to midfield. Chris Walter wins it for FC Buffalo. Stepping hard though is Robbie Dambrot. Dambrot's been a menace with those long legs on the left wing already. He gets past 2 blitzer defenders. Ball bounces off of Willings, out of play for a throw-in. Dambrot takes quickly to Tommy Beck. Beck with 5 goals this year, I believe. Here's Konarchuk. Wide to Nate Schultz, but he will not get there, and there's a deflection and a throw-in for the Royals. Throw-in about even with the 18-yard box. 47, Nate Schultz will throw to end it. Derzik with a nice chest back to Schultz. Schultz to Derzik. Back to Konarchuk. Konarchuk square to Slujevich. Slujevich all the way back to Colton Long. Long square to Meyer. Meyer hits a low ball. James Haupt working for it. Can't get to it. He's still tracking down Kendall McFadden though. And the ball bounces out of play. A good step by Kendall McFadden, the reigning NPSL Player of the Week.
Best player in the nation.
Russ, I did give my media vote for Kendall. I may be a little biased.
You didn't give him for the man of the match last game, Ben.
It's true. That was Adam Lauko who throws that ball in there. Konarchuk over to Slujevich. Slujevich back to Colton Long, who just blasts the ball long. A nice snap header back by Connor Williams to his keeper, Andrew Coughlin. FC Buffalo leading 1-0 in the 17th minute. The goal coming off the foot of Wes Abangwasi. Assist going to Rob Randell, who had that shot that Alex Ivanov spilled, and Abangwasi was right on the doorstep for the tapping. Konarchuk can't win it cleanly. A nice spin away from pressure, though, by Nate Schultz. Cleveland will possess with their back line now.
Ben, this game is sort of reminding me of last week against Lansing. Cleveland controlling a lot of the run of play, and Buffalo not having a ton of width. So if they can withstand this, this first half, if they can, kind of work their way back in to the possession stats and things like that, Buffalo has the opportunity to really, bring out guys like Brent LaRocque or Eric Dahl who can hold the ball up and try to advance that position on the field.
Chris Walter steps in front of Derzik. Walter over to Abangwasi. Abangwasi slips over the top of the ball. Gwes's head got a little ahead of his feet there. Maybe his feet.
He is the best.
Gwes took a spill. He's okay. The goal scorer trying to get a second on the evening. Had a brief glimmer of a look at net, but
I want to say he was trying to flip the ball over his head.
That's a little
space,
presumptuous, Russ. Derzik going diagonally across midfield. Spins the other way. He's double teamed. Nice turn by Derzik. Slujevich now to Manfoot. Manfoot back to Slujevich, being pressured by Anthony Rosano. There's Derzik. Sees Nate Schultz. Schultz has Tommy Beck running with him. You can't push that ball by Kendall McFadden though.
No,
and he gets a piece. Lauko now to Chris Walter. Walter, ball played ahead. Brian Neff gets a touch to it, but it only goes as far as Derzik. Slujevich gives it back. A nice ball from Brian Knapp to Wes Abangwasi. And Brian Knapp forward to Anthony Rosano. Rosano has Andrew Ferguson running with him on the left side. Rosano cuts across the goal on his right foot, falls to Brandell. Brandell's another drive, and that one is well wide at the target.
What a cutting through ball from Brian Knapp to find Rosano on the left wing there. Gless whiffed on that one again. We didn't get him for his passing, I guess I should say. But yeah, wonderful ball from Brian Knapp to spring Rosano there all alone.
You love Gless's mannerisms, though. This is a guy who, when he was announced during the lineups, he started dancing a little bit, and everything is pretty theatrical with Gless.
I'm very disappointed I couldn't see him in the corner flag opposite when he scored, because his nay-naying last week was phenomenal.
I think you're biased about this. Ball rolled out to Colton Long for AFC Cleveland. Sees James Haupt. Haupt, who scored a goal last week against FC Indiana in the 90th minute. That was to seal their 2-0 win. Stephen Meyer drives forward. That ball knuckled away from him. McFadden won it with his head. And Lauko plays down the line. Nate Schultz gets to it first. Schultz back to Colton Long. Cleveland looking like the better side in terms of possession, but FC Buffalo looking more threatening.
The old U.S. national team strategy.
Now Derizic with a head of steam. Plays it over to Suljevic. Suljevic has time to pick his head up, sees Derizic. His first touch isn't great, but Manfoot tries to sneak inside of Lauko. Lauko does a nice job to shield him off with his shoulder, arm, elbow. Got a little bit of his body in front of Manfoot, and that was enough to ward him off as Coughlin came off his line to scoop that up.
Yeah, Lauko's been quietly solid, really holding down that left side of defense and cutting out passes, and that we saw there being composed and just knocking it back to Coughlin to collect.
I don't know, not too quiet, Russ, because he got my man of the match vote.
He did, that's right.
In the...
Well, this match at least.
This match, okay, fair enough. Throw in for the Blitzers. Connor Willings. Just past the 20-minute mark, FC Buffalo leading 1-0 here at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. Tommy Beck tries to get forward, but he can't keep it. Now Adam Lauko has it for FC Buffalo, about 7 yards behind midfield. No pressure, but he decides to play back to Andrew Coughlin. The Canisius keeper lobs forward towards Rosano. Nate Schultz wins that out of the air. And Derizic gets clipped by Chris Walter. No call. Derizic took the worst of that one. He's gimpy getting up. That was a very Chris Walterian tackle right there.
Yeah, it looks like the referee had some words for Chris Walter just to cool him down on that 50-50 challenge.
It's not easy. It takes more than one person to cool down Chris Walter.
Yes.
Following Rob Brandell. Referee is going to have a quick word with him, and a set piece coming out for AFC Cleveland, about 7 yards beyond midfield, in front of midfield. Taylor Schultz back to Stephen Meyer. Over to Colton Long. Cleveland possessing in their own end, trying to level this game. They certainly have the attackers to do so, and Cleveland brought a pretty deep bench today too, so we'll see.
Yeah, they really have no choice. Well, they have a choice, but they'd be wise to press.
Manfoot now right against the line, pushes it past Chris Walter, gets to the touchline, curls it back to Derizic. Derizic hits it with his left, and that ties the game. A great finish from Mike Derizic, slots the ball just inside of Andrew Coughlin's right post. AFC Cleveland has leveled the score at 1 in the 22nd minute.
Yeah, Manfoot did really well to get down that right channel. Played a nice ball in, and really nice finish out of the...
Russ, if you remember Danny Deacon's goal on the road against Erie, no FC Buffalo center backs really stepped up and challenged that shot. This is another instance right there as Derizic had time to go diagonally across the box. No one stepped up, and somebody really needed to really challenge him and make that more difficult, because not only did the center back screen Andrew Coughlin, I think, but there was just freedom to rip the ball at goal, and you can't have that.
That's right, yeah. I mean, you always want to be careful not to foul too hard in that area of the field, but like you said...
But you can't give him 5 yards of space.
Yeah, the softness there was what led to that finish.
Derizic, the goal scorer, with the ball at his feet. Switches fields to Nate Schultz, roaming up the right wing. He's on Adam Lauko. He slots in Manfoot. Manfoot plays across the area. Slaughtermaker gets a toe to it, though. Anthony Rosano spins nicely away from pressure and pokes away out of bounds for a throw-in.
Yeah, a little bit disjointed again for Buffalo. Down that left side of the defense again. We mentioned Adam Lauko having a good opening 20 minutes, but Cleveland seems to be overloading that side of the field. And Manfoot is finding the space, and he's really putting in nice crosses. And again, luckily Rosano dropped back to collect that, but that was another dangerous ball in the area that was kind of up for grabs.
Russ, Manfoot is the kind of player that FC Buffalo hasn't had to defend a lot this year. FC Buffalo's maybe sort of similar to Danny Deacon, but I think he's a lot shiftier than Deacon is. And small, really low center of gravity, very, very creative. I don't think FC Buffalo's seen too much like that.
That's right. Yeah, it's always tough defending those types of players.
Rocco back to Coughlin. Coughlin drives the ball towards midfield. There was a tough hop there, and Coughlin, I thought, did pretty well with that. Gwes Abangwasi wins a foul on Kanarchuk. And FC Buffalo will have a set piece about 45 yards from goal.
That's the danger you encounter when you poach an early goal like that against the run of play, and you're content to sit back because the onus is on Cleveland. But luckily for Buffalo last week, Lansing just could not find that tying goal, and they got the red card in the second half. And Buffalo was able to open the floodgates, but Cleveland is a very good team this year, and they'll punish you if you give them the chance.
Help now forward to Tommy Beck on the left side. Beck one-on-one with Slonemaker. Slonemaker does a nice job to get his body in front of that and block the cross from Beck. Beck battles back though and plays to Robbie Dambrot. Now square to Derzik. Derzik intercepted by Chris Walter for FC Buffalo, but Dambrot gets a piece to that. Now back to Derzik. Back here from Sulevich to Derzik, but that's intercepted by the Blitzers. Now Chris Walter has time to turn. Plays Adam Lauko on the left side. Lauko has some help with him. He sees Rob Randell. Randell short to Rosano. Rosano pressured by Schultz. Randell, a nice flick from Chris Walter, springs Anthony Rosano down the left wing. Rosano chased by Nate Schultz. Nate Schultz gets his body inside of him, and a good battle in the corner. And that's the last off of Rosano and a throw in for AFC Cleveland.
Yeah, really nice effort from Schultz there to catch up with Rosano. Looked like Rosano got the ball caught in the spokes a little bit, but might have been better off taking a touch towards the corner flag and trying to get a cross in. But he saw success cutting in on that opening goal for Buffalo, and it looked like he wanted to do that again.
Thank you to Pallet Services, Inc., today's sponsor for WNY Media and sponsor for streams all year long. And great to have our friends from the Pallet Company along with us.
Pallets.
Adam Lauko heads back to Kendall McFadden. McFadden square to Fox Slonemaker. The UB New Zealand center back, Kiwi center back, I should say. Plays forward. Andrew Ferguson hits towards Abangwasi, but it was knocked away by Colton Long. Now FC Buffalo keeping it in the midfield. Chris Walter over to Lauko. Lauko advanced from his left back spot. Sees Anthony Rosano. Rosano has a chance to get past Schultz. His first touch lets him down, though. Brandell pokes forward nicely to Brian Knapp. Knapp dispossessed by a crowd of AFC Cleveland players, and Derzik does very well to get away from pressure. Intercepted by Lauko to Rosano's feet. Rosano tries to poke the ball through. Looks like it hit a hand of a Cleveland player, and no call from the center referee. Rosano grabs it with his hands, thinking it was assuredly going to be called, and there was no whistle.
Yeah, I guess play to the whistle, but that's been a sore point all year. There's been a lot of, especially here at All High, a lot of missed handballs on the opposition. Not to sound like too much of a homer, but Rosano getting a yellow for his troubles on that. Understandable. I mean, if you don't get the call, just keep playing. But
that's showing up the ref too.
Yeah. I gotta understand their frustration.
Carter Poe beckoning for his defense to move a little farther upfield. Poe was with that AFC Cleveland team that went pretty far, I believe, in the 2012 playoffs. They lost to the Madison 56ers. Don't remember exactly how deep into the tournament it was, but AFC Cleveland won the region that year, or won the Great Lakes East, I should say. Kanarchuk switches fields to Nate Schultz. Good first touch from Schultz. Volleys back to Sulevich. Sulevich played a little too far from him with a sliding Chris Walter.
Very clean.
Very clean, and he slid once or twice in his life, so it's not his first rodeo in there.
No.
Good ball forward from Walter to Knapp. Knapp cuts inside, plays the ball through, has Gwes on a breakaway. Gwes has a chance, shots it by Ivanov, and it's 2-1 FC Buffalo. Gwes Abangwasi with a brace.
Again, another fantastic through ball from Brian Knapp. We saw the first touch there on the acquisition of the ball. After that, Chris Walter slide tackle to midfield. Brian Knapp, the former futsal star, really fantastic first touch. Is able to collect the ball, pick his head up, slot. Guess through on a perfect sliding rule pass, and Guess finished, no mistake.
Give it up for the veteran blitzers there.
Yes, absolutely.
Chris Walter winning that ball, but having the presence of mind to get to his feet and play a great ball forward to Brian Knapp. Gave him time to pick his head up, run at the defense. He did a nice little drag move inside, poked a really well-weighted through ball to Guess, and Guess made no mistake.
Absolutely, yeah. This is quite a game we got here.
2-1 FC Buffalo. The second goal also coming off the foot of Guess Abangwasi in the 29th minute. 28th, excuse me. FC Buffalo back in front by a goal, but here's Manfoot charging down the right side. Double teamed. Tries to win a corner kick, but instead he just crosses it out of play. Some good communication there between Rosano and Kendall McFadden. McFadden been around soccer long enough, even though he hasn't been a center back for a really long time, but I'm told by the FC Buffalo coaching staff that he's a tremendous communicator, a guy who players obviously look up to for his skill level, but also his knowledge of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having that professional experience going up to Rochester and, really being around that scenario where you're playing, against grown men who are playing for paychecks, you really can't put enough of a premium on that.
Ball driven forward by Terzic. It's a beautiful ball up to Haupt. Haupt inside of Connor Williams, drives the ball across towards Manfoot. Adam Lacko shields it out of play, and it will go out for a goal kick.
Ben, I was just about to say, Guess has been kind of quiet besides that opening goal. Really hasn't been too involved in any kind of combination plays or really any balls to the center. Rosano with those searching runs down the left hadn't found him, but again, we've said it before. You give that guy a opportunity, and he is going to finish. And Buffalo just has not seen that type of player in a long time. Russ Cerrone was more of an advanced midfielder, but to have an out-and-out striker who can just be that lethal and efficient, it's a really, really, really nice thing to have.
Russ, let's see if AFC Cleveland defends Guess any different now that he's scored twice in the game's first half hour. The weakness on this AFC Cleveland team, I don't think there's really any surprise about it. I know they've only given up 7 goals this year, which is the least given up of any team in the Midwest, but their center back pairing, I think, leaves a little bit to be desired between Colton Long and Stephen Meyer. You saw Colton Long sort of flat-footed there on that through ball from Brian Knapp, which let Guess get in between the center backs cleanly. And one thing as a center back pairing you never want to see happen is being split by a through ball, and you saw that on Guess's second goal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, both attacks doing a really good job of maybe not Cleveland so much threading passes through, but they're making the central defenses of both clubs really play off the back foot. And I know we saw Cleveland and Manfoot get down the right side, but there's been a lot of really smart, intelligent runs on both ends of the field so far.
Set piece for Admir Suljevic. Colton Long sprints forward for AFC Cleveland. Suljevic's ball won by the gazelle-like Kendall McFadden, springing high to win that header.
That was elegant, wasn't it?
It was very elegant. Dambrot, though, with a good win to Haupt on the left wing now. Marked by Williams and Andrew Ferguson. He curls the ball to the back post. Kendall McFadden wins that one too easily. It's really hard to get the ball over Kendall McFadden's head, Russ.
It is.
Russ, breaking women's soccer news. Sydney LaRue to undergo ankle surgery.
I saw that, yeah. The other famous
speechless.
one. I'm devastated.
Alex Morgan?
Alex Morgan, hold on.
Oh, wow. Great save there by Andrew Coughlin. As I think, was it Schultz that got a piece to that? Or?
Yeah, it was a short corner, and Schultz had a pretty gaping open net on the near post, but Coughlin was good enough to get to the post in time and knock that away.
Coughlin very upset at his defense at that one.
Yeah.
Manfoot drives the ball in. McFadden wins that one again. That's a third header in the span of about 45 seconds that Kendall McFadden won. Guess Abangwasi strips Suljevic in midfield. Now with a chance to hurry. Chris Walter sprinting 60 yards from his midfield position. Wide open on the right side. Rosano switches field, sees Walter. Cleveland does well to get back defensively. Walter has a drive, and that one goes high and wide of the...
He's feeling confident after last week's goal, Ben.
Walter does a brilliant 50-yard stallion-like run from his back position to join that attack. 33rd minute, 2 goals from Guess Abangwasi, 1 for AFC Cleveland's Mike Derzick, and it is 2-1 Blitzers. If this score holds, FC Buffalo will be in the NPSL playoffs. Adam Lauko heads forward over James Haupt, and Nate Schultz, all the way back towards his own goal, plays Alex Ivanov. Ivanov drives the ball towards midfield. Deflected, but won by Connor Williams. A good ball by Williams to Brandel. Over to Brian Knapp. Knapp can't connect with Bongwasi again.
Yeah, just a little bit, well, a lot of it out of Gwess's reach, but good idea.
A nifty turn by Tom Beck, but he can't keep the ball at his feet, and that rolls out of bounds for throw-in for FC Buffalo. Tommy Beck, who we've seen play a lot of positions this year for AFC Cleveland, he's played outside back, he's played outside mid, now he's up top today.
And the light side here, Ben. I love all high at night. These games are the best. I mean, I guess it's true of anywhere in the world with the floodlights coming on and making the atmosphere just a little bit more special. But just given the stakes, you got the smell of a lot of good food trucks coming up through the corridor, and the fans are a good voice. It's a great night for soccer.
You must have a sharp sense of smell, Russ, because I can't smell the food.
You're not feeling, oh man.
Yep.
I feel sorry for you.
I feel like it's a good night. I just can't smell the food trucks. Oh, no, I got a little bit.
Okay, cool.
All right, great. Connor Willings to throw in for FC Buffalo on the left side. Willings and Lauco have switched sides. Willings maybe better deal, or no, actually Lauco moved over to deal with Antonio Manford, who switched sides, excuse me. Throw to Connor Willings, flicked by Gwess Abamwasi, but right into the hands of Alex Ivanov.
Well done by Gwess to direct that one on net from a really, really tight angle.
Long punt forward, Adam Lauco. Won by Colton Long, a nice flick there by Konarchuk. Antonio Manford sprints back after it, plays square to Nate Schultz. Schultz to James Haupt now, who's on our side of the field. He gets right around Connor Willings, but it's out of play for an FC Buffalo throw. Goal kick. Oh, excuse me. Throw in for FC Buffalo. Derezek heads forward. Connor Willings now gets ahead to it. Ball falls to Rob Randell. Randell loses it to Derezek. Derezek square ball to Konarchuk. Konarchuk finds Antonio Manford, who has some space now. Plays the ball over the top of Fox Slotemaker, but he volleys away from danger nicely. Dambrot heads back to Tommy Beck. Kendall McFadden asks for an offsides call, doesn't get it. Beck working on Slotemaker on the left side. Slotemaker getting physical with Beck. Beck's service towards the PK mark. Anthony Rosano's first to it, and he heads just from danger. Brian Knapp with a nice poke in midfield. Derzik on the ground again. He's really the worst for wear, taking all sorts of tackles both from Walter and Knapp now. The goal scorer is really getting beaten up for AFC Cleveland. The Royals possessing as Derzik is a 10-2. Doesn't look like they're going to stop play. So the ball is driven forward to the right side towards Haupt. Won brilliantly by Connor Williams to keep that ball in play after winning it. Now Rosano forward to Gwess Abamwasi. Here's a chance now on Konarchuk. He slides inside of Nate Schultz, puts the ball in one sprint past Konarchuk. One-on-one, and he loses his footing. He outthought himself again, Russ. A brilliant run, though, to get there, and well done from Anthony Rosano to give him space going forward on that left side. Nate Schultz to Konarchuk. Konarchuk hit by Brian Knapp. Knapp will have a go with his right, and he bends that one wide of the far post.
A good win by Knapp there. Yeah, great win by Knapp, actually. And just pulling it well wide, but we saw the explosiveness of Gwess Abagwanze. I'm sorry.
You can just call him Gwess, Russ.
I want to do the man properly.
Justice.
Yes, justice. Yes, Gwess with a, just really showing how incredibly dangerous he is, splitting two defenders, but just missing that final touch in the area.
What a ball from Derzik down the left side. Adam Lauker's going to probably see yellow for this one on that tackle on Antonio Manford. Just a tremendous service over the top from Mike Derzik. Allowed Manford to sprint, get a touch to it right before Adam Lauko could get there. And it'll be interesting for Lauko now because he's going to have to play a little bit differently, guarding arguably the most dangerous player on the pitch for AFC Cleveland, Antonio Manford.
Yeah, that's right. And Cleveland's been doing really well with those over-the-top balls, both from medium and long range tonight. They're really, really hard to defend and track down and make sure you're staying in position while you're marking your players. So good ideas from Cleveland. They're going that well, and they're getting good pressure and a good opportunity here.
A little extracurricular activity in the box. Tom Beck getting a little physical. Antonio Manford with a shot blocked by Brian Knapp. Chris Walter clears from danger, and FC Buffalo can find its shape now moving forward.
I think Chris was channeling Carly Lloyd there.
39th minute. We've just entered the 39th minute. FC Buffalo leading 2-1. Here's Derzik's ball again to Manfoot down the line. What a task today for Adam Lauko to try to defend him. He shields off, drives forward, but only as far as Konarczyk. Konarczyk over to Robbie Dambrot. Dambrot loses Andrew Ferguson, sprinting down the wing, curls across and blocked out of bounds. Good recovery from Adam Lauko.
Yeah, a lot of great speed for Cleveland down these wings. Similar to what we saw against Lansing, similar strategy in terms of a lot of long balls over the top and a lot of good runs down those wings that are giving Buffalo some trouble. But again, Lauko doing well to man up to this challenge.
Suljevich's set piece won by McFadden again. McFadden almost automatic in winning headers in his own 18-yard box. Brian Knapp sprinting up the wing, tries to see Anthony Rosano on the opposite side of the pitch. Intercepted by Steven Meyer pretty easily. Meyer to Derzik. Derzik to Konarczyk. See Suljevich on the wing. Tommy Beck checks back, but he chooses Konarczyk instead. Now to Derzik.
Going to our WNY Media Care out-of-town scoreboards, 2-1 Detroit over Erie. They are at halftime.
Tommy Beck lays off to Konarczyk. Konarczyk wide to Robbie Dambrot. Very advanced on the left flank. He serves the ball towards the back post. That one actually goes over McFadden, but there's no one at the back stick for AFC Cleveland. Deep throw in their own end for AFC Buffalo as we approach the 40th minute, or 41st minute. Suljević lays off to Konarczyk. Up towards Tom Beck, headed away by McFadden. Only as far as Derzik in midfield. He gets it back, does a nice scoop move to Lou Brian Knapp. Konarczyk square to Robbie Dambrot. Dambrot, I believe he's the son of Akron men's basketball head coach Keith Dambrot, who was coincidentally LeBron James's high school basketball coach. So if you're into degrees of separation, there's a good factoid for you there.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Wessel Magwasi does a well to check back. Now Chris Walter plays Anthony Rosano down the left side. Rosano with a good head of steam, only one teammate in the box though. Smartly keeps it and plays back to Chris Walter. Walter to Willings. Now to Rosano, one-on-one with James Haupt. He'll switch fields to Lauko. Lauko can't get a clean touch to it. And Colton Long just skies that ball past midfield. Suljević heads in the direction of Manfoot. Manfoot will keep that in play one-on-one with Knapp. Suljević eludes the retreating Lauko, and Derzik gets into the attack for AFC Cleveland. Driven forward by Derzik, another beautiful ball to James Haupt, but Connor Willings backtracks well, heads back to his keeper, and that ends that attack.
Appreciative round of applause from our knowledgeable crowd.
Also my father.
And your dad.
Yep.
And your dad. Yep. Mr. T.
Thanks as usual for joining us, WNYmedia.net. We've had live streams of all the home games so far this year. And also to 91.3 FM WBNY. Thanks to them for recording the FC Buffalo shows on Monday evenings.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Had some pretty cool guests recently. We had Kendall McFadden, Andrew Coughlin, we had Cameron Hogg earlier in the year, we've had assistant coach Bobby Roach, and owner Scott Fraunhofer, each of them twice on the show.
And head coach Murphy via telephone.
And Brendan Murphy. That's 6 p.m. on Mondays, and we'll see, or you'll hear the show again this coming Monday. Antonio Manfoot now on the attacking side of midfield. Chris Walter gets back in front of him. Manfoot tries to play in Nate Schultz, but Anthony Rosano does nicely to cut that off. Terrific first punch by Suljević, but Andrew Ferguson nips in, keeps it for FC Buffalo, and Anthony Rosano gets up from his left side. Rosano carving out a lot of space for him on this left wing. Slices inside of Konarczyk. Referee rules it a dive, and AFC Cleveland keeps it now.
Yeah, Rosano really...
Suljević with a terrific ball forward to Tom Beck. Cleveland's defensive center mids, both Suljević and Derzik. Nice turn by Tom Beck. Beck going towards the touchline, curls back against Slotemaker. Now he's heading back towards his own wing, curls a nice ball to Suljević. Suljević has Haupt running with him. He gets the ball, serves it, and hits it over the bar. I think James Haupt's going to want that one back. A nice sliding challenge from Connor Williams, but
Yeah. No, like you were saying, Ben, these balls from the center of the Cleveland midfield are Bradley-esque, just really on a dime for these streaking counters, and Buffalo just needs to keep that in mind when they're pressing forward.
Derzik and Suljevic just hitting long balls on a dime. It's very impressive. So we enter the final 90 seconds of the first half. FC Buffalo goalkeeper Andrew Coughlin will send this ball forward. Won by Suljevic, but falls to Kendall McFadden. McFadden short to Chris Walter. Walter square to Connor Williams. Williams has about 15 yards to carry if he wants. He does. Plays Rosano on the left side. Rosano marked by Nate Schultz. Takes him to the end line. Serves the ball across low. Andrew Ferguson just a step away. Nice touch by Connor Williams to keep it though for FC Buffalo. Over to Chris Walter. Switches fields now. Walter clipped down to the ground by Admir Suljevic. Then another tackle from Andrew Ferguson. Two pretty firm challenges there, to say the least, by FC Buffalo, but no cards come out of the pocket.
You know, Ben, I was going to say before that last Cleveland counterattack that Rosano's really, I would maybe say married to really cutting in when he's on those quick breaks into the area, but he did well to push it to the outside and put in a really good cross that almost resulted in a Buffalo goal on that last move.
Rosano naturally left-footed, so I think cutting to the end line is something that players expect him to do, which is why that he's gotten better cutting inside on his right foot.
Right.
Connor Williams to throw as we approach stoppage time of the first half. FC Buffalo leading 2-1. A heavy touch from Nate Schultz. Now Guasa Mangwasi with it for FC Buffalo. The quick feet though, he's dispossessed by Schultz. Derzik has a chance to counter. Sees a run from Antonio Manfoot. Another ball from Derzik is a beauty. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Manfoot tries to clip through to Tommy Beck. Can't find him, but Rob Brandel for FC Buffalo has it. Forward to Guasa Mangwasi. He has space to carry too as Derzik recovers. A nice ball to Rob Brandel. Brandel forward, tries to send the ball through, but that goes right to Ivanov. Again, 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half.
A little bit of a quiet night for Andrew Ferguson. Haven't really heard his name called too much. But another good player who's out there who can really make smart runs, and he's been a very good finisher. Maybe not so much towards the second half of the year, but he really stepped up for Buffalo in that really crucial part of the season and mid-season when all those road trips were happening and what have you.
Good ball forward there by Ferguson, but it eludes Anthony Rosano. Let's move to the right side now. Russ, I'm not usually a big guy to go to Niagara men's soccer games, but
I used to be.
You did used to be. But now I even feel a little bit more interested in doing so, just being able to see Andrew Ferguson's senior year and Andrew Ferguson's junior year.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll see whether or not Eric Barnes, the head coach at Niagara, can surround them with a little better talent this year, because it seems like Andrew Ferguson is a guy who thrives around other skillful players, but also in some ways needs it in order to be successful.
Right.
He's a very good complementary attacker is what I'm saying. Deep throw in here in the final minute of the first half. We're in stoppage time. This have to be in the second minute by now. Brian Knapp's long throw. Alex Ivanov stretches back over his head to grab that one. The Ohio State starting goalkeeper with a nice play. Now Manfoot serves to Tom Beck down the left wing. Beck one-on-one with McFadden. Beck tries to cut inside to his right, but McFadden, too athletic for him, picks his pocket, and we have reached halftime here at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. Score is 2-1 FC Buffalo, both goals coming off the foot of Guas Abogawase, and we will head to the break. FC Buffalo leading 2-1 in their hunt to clinch a playoff spot tonight. Thank you for joining us on WBNY and WNYmedia.net. We'll see you for the second half. AFC Cleveland during this second likely be this year.
Likely.
Teams back on the field. West off in the first inning. Mike Hitland.
He is in the second part of the first half to kind of play the ball out of the back a bit. Brian Knapp with some really nice passes. Anthony Rosano done well to get down the left-hand side of the field for Buffalo. Yeah, it looks like Buffalo is in the driver's seat, and we'll see what kind of changes Coach Murphy is thinking about as we get through the second half.
Speaking of changes, we already have one for FC Buffalo. Brian Knapp leaving the game. Dylan McVeigh entering. Dylan McVeigh returning from an injury that set him out for a handful of games. He wears number 4 for FC Buffalo from Marist College, I should say.
And a real Salt Lake Academy alum as well.
And McVeigh in that holding midfield. Back doesn't see Grant
back there for Stoudemire under.
Agreed, yeah. It seems to be kind of blind, Russ. Swung wide now on the left side. Colton Long has Robbie Dambrot to his left. Chooses to play a substitution in the back as well.
To win that ball and
accepted by Nate Schultz. That scoots under everybody and back to Andrew Coughlin. 49th minute, FC Buffalo protecting a 2-score holds FC would clip this game, but FC match. It's very Andrew Yep, that's what we will have. Deep in their defensive third. So throw-in goes down the line towards Rosano. Rosano gets a flick to it to Brandel. Helped us to it first though. Ball falls to Derezik. Now McVeigh. His pocket's picked by Karnarchuk and a set piece for AFC Cleveland about 40 yards from goal. McVeigh looks a little slow, Russ. He's not quite back into the swing of things for FC Buffalo.
yeah, tough getting back into it after such a long layoff, but hopefully through the balance of this half he'll work his way in and find his touches.
James helped. Wide on the right side. Sent back into Derezik. Derezik to Robbie Dambrot on the left side. Dambrot, University of Akron player, runs down the line. Fox Slotemaker, very good rotation. But both Connor Williams and Andrew Ferguson got split by a very Robbie Dambrot on the left side.
Yeah, it really wasn't a power move, just a very, very nice touch and ability to use his quickness, get the outside, and win this corner. Antonio
Manfoot comes across to take the set piece on the left side. Drives it in the box over McFadden. One last results with 20 smack.
Goals if not the
it'll be Andrew Ferguson taking this set piece.
Watch for Kendall McFadden on these. Actually, never mind. He's hanging back.
I mean, he might hit a 50-yarder from
Yeah, you never know.
He is the NPSL player of the week.
It is possible.
Yeah. Away from his run. Now he'll serve the ball in. This one's high to the back post. Falls to Rosano. Yeah, almost the opposite sideline. Rosano out of bounds for a throw-in for AFC Cleveland. It's very hard to tell from our angle whether or not he kept that ball in, but the AR, who is much closer, will just to be a throw-in for the Royals.
Yeah, this is definitely not a situation where Buffalo wants to walk out of here with a draw. It'll keep them in third for the night, but again, Cleveland has a game on Sunday, and you also have Indiana with the rescheduled game coming up soon, as well as a game tomorrow against Cincinnati. So the onus is on Buffalo here, since this is their final game of the regular season. They won't have a chance to make up the numbers here the way that Cleveland will at the end of the weekend.
Russ, do everything center forward who plays defense at Cleveland State, Sergio Menesio, about to enter the game for AFC Cleveland here in the 55th minute. He has a good chance at finishing in the NPSL Midwest Region Best 11 this year. The only thing that really has been holding him back is playing time recently. Vinny Bell has been chosen over him in the starting lineup. Tom Beck has been chosen over him. I don't know if that means he's been dealing with an injury of some type. I'm not enough of an NPSL insider to know these things. But regardless, Menesio will enter for the final 35 minutes of this game with the game level at 2. We'll see what kind of a role Menesio plays.
He's definitely dangerous in a Guess type build as a forward. Very powerful, very skillful. Definitely want to keep an eye on.
But he's not necessarily going to play forward, Ross. I actually just saw that he was a defender at Cleveland State, which is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, you'll see that at this level. I think sometimes guys, even with Kendall McFadden, he spent time up top, like you mentioned earlier. So,
but if you have a game breaker like Menesio, there's a giveaway by Derzic, though. Falls to Guess Abagwasi. He weaves away from pressure, goes to ground. No whistle. AFC Cleveland will counterattack in the form of Tom Beck. Beck has Riley Grant running along with him, cleared away by Fox Slotemaker very nicely. Good anticipation there by the UB, soon-to-be sophomore. Now playing forward, here's a chance. I believe that's Beck again, has Manfoot overlapping. Kendall McFadden runs it down. Manfoot plays to Riley Grant at the top of the box. Good first touch, but poked to the opposite side now. Robbie Dambrot. Andrew Ferguson shields him out, but it's out for a corner kick. Russ, AFC Cleveland buzzing out of halftime.
Yeah, definitely a lot of the momentum, and as we're seeing here, we've got Brett LaRock and Jabari Danzy ready to come in for Buffalo. Similar to last week, we're going to see some added width, and Brett LaRock coming in, making an immediate impact against Lansing, scoring that goal, or scoring that second goal rather, and being a real terror.
Two substitutes. Andrew Ferguson will exit the game, as will Guess Abagwasi. Abagwasi with both FC Buffalo goals. Jabari Danzy, who was a star of, or one of the stars on the SIU, Southern Illinois that is, University at Edwardsville team that made the NCAA tournament last year. He wears number 11, dealt with some injury issues this year, but a very pacey player, hard worker. Ball driven in, won by McFadden. That's probably his 5th or 6th header he's won so far in the box. Jabari Danzy gives away to Dambrot. Dambrot has the ball played square to Riley Grant. Menesio now high up the pitch, so you're right, Russ. It seemed like he slotted in initially, but now he is the highest player for Cleveland on the field. Kanarchuk back to James Haupt. Haupt up to Derzic. Derzic on the right side now. Nate Schultz plays in, falls to Manfoot. Manfoot tries to curl the ball back in, intercepted by Chris Walter. Now ball forward, played by Brandel to Rosado, finds Brett LaRock. LaRock 1-on-2 here. James Haupt marking LaRock. LaRock has early touches in the game. Cuts back onto his right foot. Has Dylan McVeigh with him, chooses to play Connor Williams to keep possession. Willings touches errant though, he gives it away, but Chris Walter almost wins it back. Menesio with a nice drag move from pressure. Nice spin by Suljevic, now over to Kanarchuk on the right wing. Kendall McFadden, and a set piece upcoming. Manfoot went to ground kind of easily there, and there's a yellow given out to Kendall McFadden. That's FC Buffalo's 3rd yellow of the day.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul. I'm not sure if I would have pulled a card for that one. Shoulder to shoulder, so they're going to...
card with conviction, too.
Yeah.
That card came out
right.
almost instantly.
So I'm not sure if the ref saw something malicious that we weren't able to see from up here, but it's tough. Still got a lot of game to play, and McFadden's pretty essential to the proceedings, so we'll have to see how he can deal with that.
Suljevic stands over the ball, tries to serve it in, headed away by Slotemaker, only as far as Menesio though. Menesio Square to Suljevic. Suljevic back to James Hout. Hout just serves the ball. Box. Jabari Danzy keeps it. Does a nice job to shield off Robbie Dambrot. Nate Schultz steps in front of the pass, but Anthony Rosano checks back well to win that ball. Good switch of the fields by Adam Lauko. Danzy slips initially, but gets back to his feet. Drives at the defense, finds LaRock's feet. LaRock with a nice poke away from Menesio. Now to Connor Willings on the right side. Willings slots in LaRock. LaRock has a shot on goal, but it's right into the chest of Ivanov. Ivanov bobbled that one a little bit too, Russ.
Yeah. I wonder if he's having some sharpness or some confidence issues, but great play from Brett LaRock. In the build-up, putting Willings out wide, and LaRock is just so slippery, and he's able to really find the spaces in the area. Really tricky player to mark in that part of the field. And we're going to see later on if Buffalo gets any set pieces in that area, any corner kicks. He's actually a counterintuitively very dangerous set piece option. So LaRock brings a lot to the squad, and Buffalo desperately needs a goal to wrap things up here tonight. And if anybody's going to do it, it's probably going to be him.
Andrew Coughlin, pressured by Tom Beck, slides the ball out to Kendall McFadden. McFadden dribbles past Suljevic, gets ahead of steam going forward. He'll continue his run. He gets the ball back, give it away. Now he's out of position though. Can't FC Buffalo adjust. There's a ball played over the top by Derizic, but offsides is Tom Beck. Cleveland smartly counterattacked, knowing that Kendall McFadden had made that advance run forward, but FC Buffalo bailed out by the high line there.
Yep. Yeah, good job to keep their coordination and get that call. Looks like we have Kevin Kapik coming into the game here.
Placing Connor Willings. 61 minutes there for Connor Willings. Leaves the game tied 2-2. Kevin Kapik, number 2, again returning from injury. Got injured about the same time that his college teammate and FC Buffalo teammate Dylan McVeigh got hurt. Russ, given the situation in the standings, FC Buffalo can't be content with a tie here.
No, like I said, it's there's way too much left to chance. We don't know what's going to happen with that follow-up Indiana game rescheduled, and also the Cincinnati game they'll have tomorrow. So, they've got an opportunity to get 6 points, and then Cleveland again plays on Sunday.
Kapik's throw to LaRock. LaRock scuffs his shot, but it stays in play over to Rosano. Rosano puts it past Nate Schultz. Schultz does nicely and hits the ball off of Rosano and out of play. Nate Schultz, maybe the man of the match so far for AFC Cleveland. That wonder strike that leveled the game, and he's also been very good advanced up that right side.
Yeah, he was very good defensively as well, dropping back and shouldering off Rosano earlier on in the game.
Jabari Danzy marked by Menesio. Kevin Kapik just entered the game for FC Buffalo. Good target ball to Brett LaRock. LaRock wriggles past Menesio over to Jabari Danzy. Danzy has time to hit with his left. Curling ball to the right post. Laying out for it is Alex Ivanov, and he does not concede a rebound this time.
Yeah, good idea to test the keeper given what's happened earlier in the game, but Ivanov did well to maintain his composure and corral that one in.
Pounds a punt high into the sky. So high Tom Beck couldn't bring it down cleanly, and Slotemaker back to Andrew Coughlin. Coughlin will try to pick out Jabari Danzy, but the ball will sail out of play. Throw in for the Royals. Cleveland 6-2-2 in 4th place. They have Fort Pitt on Sunday. They can definitely clinch a playoff spot, I believe, if they just win their last 2 games. Here's Manfoot, tracked by McFadden. Played across and out of bounds by Tom Beck.
Physical mismatch if there ever was one. But you got to be careful with that. Kendall McFadden sitting on that yellow card and having a quick and low center of gravity player like Manfoot darting into the box there. You got to make sure you're not pushing off or putting in too rash of a challenge.
Ross, a good test for Kevin Kapik too, coming in this game with about 30 minutes left. He gets to mark Antonio Manfoot. It's sort of a rude, hey, welcome back to the NPSL sort of matchup for him.
Right.
I'm not suggesting that Kevin Kapik isn't 100%, but there's a certain amount of rust you lose after you've been out for 4 or 5 games.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's hard to simulate match situations, especially this situation where there's literally everything on the line.
Brandel over to Chris Walter. Swings to Kevin Kapik, but that's over his head and out of bounds. Russ, we're going to see Eric Dahl check in. I believe he'll probably replace Rob Brandel. Do you think this game is a good fit for Dahl?
It's a good fit if Chris Walter can hang back and really shield that back line.
A back heel by Tommy Beck sends Antonio Manfoot in, but Kendall McFadden with a wonderful sliding tackle wins it cleanly, and he needed to win that cleanly. To Derezik. Now over to Suljevic on the left side. He's pressured by Jabari Danzi. A good spin away from pressure by Suljevic. Now here's Robbie Dambrot. Service into the box from Suljevic towards Menesio, but too much pace on that ball, and Coughlin is there to gobble it up.
Yeah, Dahl coming in, a really advanced attacking midfielder with an eye on passing the ball. Really good rhythm when he's on his game. Like you alluded to, Ben, not the biggest guy, so if Cleveland lays the body to him, it might be a little bit tough. But with Dylan McVeigh in that same midfield, you have a lot of good interplay opportunities, and Dahl's definitely a guy who can hit the pass that maybe springs Danzy or LaRock in on goal. So we'll see how he does this game in this really pivotal moment.
Russ, it actually makes more sense to me now too, because they'll bring Brandel off, as you see right here, Brandel for Eric Dahl, and that'll just move Dylan McVeigh back into a holding midfield role right next to Chris Walter.
Right.
And that gives Eric Dahl, some defensive responsibilities, but really the onus is on him to create and really free Brett LaRock.
Yeah, and I think you also see McVeigh push up too. It's kind of like the U.S. national team with Jermaine Jones and Michael Bradley and Kyle Beckerman in the same midfield. Beckerman or Walter in this case will hold back, shield that back line, but McVeigh will have license to get forward if he sees the opportunity, like Bradley does.
Maybe not necessarily his natural role, but one that, he's not going to really have much of a choice. Here's a long ball forward by Chris Walter. Sprinting after it is Anthony Rosano. Rosano almost actually does get there. So Riley Grant now has it for AFC Cleveland. Grant loses the ball out of play, throwing for FC Buffalo. Eric Dahl hands it over to Lauko. Throwing to Chris Walter. Walter over to Lauko. Lauko just kind of mindlessly serves that one into the box, and it bounces to Alex Ivanov. You rarely see mental lapses like that from Matt Lauko, but maybe he just mishit that ball that he tried to serve in. But regardless, FC Buffalo concedes possession, and Ivanov drives forward. And equally as inept a ball forward from Ivanov goes all the way back to Andrew Coughlin, the FC Buffalo keeper. And here in the 68th minute, FC Buffalo will try to mount another attack. A dummy by Jabari Danzi has Eric Dahl sprinting after it down the right side. Unfortunately, the crown pitch has that one roll out of play.
A little bit of surprise out of Detroit. Erie's come back and are currently leading 3-2. Last we heard, it's the 87th minute, looks like.
Russ, I'm not sure we want Madison to host it just from our attendance perspective, but that would be a very good result from Erie. Erie's been eliminated from the playoff race, but I'm sure they are more than willing to play the role of spoiler.
Absolutely.
I see Danny Mudd back in that after a two-game benching, you could say. The center referee beckons Kevin Kapik to go back 5 yards for the throw-in.
Still a lot of time here for both teams to grab a goal or two.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of the scoring tonight, Russ. The Rock long goes to ground, doesn't win it cleanly, and it'll be a free kick. FC Buffalo right on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Now again, LaRock being very shifty, very, very good in tight spaces there. Didn't go to ground, but still won the free kick altogether. And this is where you got to get it done. This is the season. You gotta make the most of this. And looks like Kendall McFadden will stand over it, but
which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Kendall not necessarily known as a set piece specialist, but he is the captain.
Gotta watch for LaRock here. He gets open on these set pieces.
I wonder if he'll try to use Kapik on the right side. I hope not, honestly. McFadden will strike it just wide of the left post. McFadden hit a bending ball, trickled about a foot away, maybe. A good set piece. I'm fine with that shot.
Yeah, no, he would have. It would have been a nice, very well deserved cherry on top for Kendall McFadden's season, but beat the keeper, but also beat the far post.
Ivanov skies this goal kick towards Tom Beck. Won by Dylan McVeigh, though initially only as far as Riley Grant. Riley Grant scoots forward at the defense. He's pushed to ground by Eric Dahl, and that will be a free kick.
Yeah, kind of a lazy foul there by Dahl, and
Dahl into the book. It seems like the ref is using every single foul to pull out a yellow card at this point.
it's definitely not a yellow.
It's baffling. Yeah, that's 2 in a row that have been like that. Even Carter Poe's confused. Carter Poe's the Cleveland coach. He just shrugged his shoulders.
A lot of gesturing.
Yep. Regardless, I believe that is Suljevich over the free kick for AFC Cleveland. Chips the ball into the area, headed towards the back post, but the offside flag is up on the right side.
Really feel the tension in the air here, Ben, in the stadium.
Thought it was just the humidity.
And that too. It could be both.
All right.
Humidity does weird things to people.
Important 20 minutes, though. You're right. Just not to make everything funny, but 20 minutes remaining in FC Buffalo really simply needs a goal.
Yeah.
And to keep one out of their own net, too, I suppose. Coughlin's free kick goes beyond midfield. 2 FC Buffaloes challenge the ball. Walter wins it, but Haupt clears the ball upfield. McFadden has Tommy Beck tracking on him. McFadden heads back to Coughlin, and his header has enough pace on it where Coughlin can grab it inside his own box.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was just calling the game. Go ahead.
I was going to say, besides Cass Tech, I think All-High is definitely one of the more scenic stadiums in the league.
Yeah.
The smoke tower, the school end.
There's a giveaway, for AFC Cleveland. Antonio Manfoot pushes the ball past Chris Walter. He'll go in the book, too, without a doubt. The yellow for Chris Walter, his 18th yellow card in 42 games. We're on the Walter card count right now.
Just popping up like weeds here for Buffalo. You got to be careful. You're going to get to a point where there's more players on the field who have a yellow card than don't.
Agreed. We'll see how quickly Brendan Murphy uses these substitutions now, knowing that he has so many players on a yellow. Lauco, Rosano, now Walter, McFadden. Derizic slips inside, drives the ball just wide of Andrew Coughlin's post. A shot from distance that I think Coughlin had pretty much under control from the angles, and he'll have a goal kick. 72nd minute, we are tied at 2. Wes Abangwase, who's now out of the game for FC Buffalo, with both goals for the Blitzers coming in the first half. Mike Derizic scored for AFC Cleveland in the first 45, and just out of halftime, a missile from Nate Schultz even the game at 2. That brings us to the 2-2 scoreline, and FC Buffalo needing a win to advance to ensure advancing to the playoffs. Again, with a draw, it's still possible for FC Buffalo to finish in the top 4, but their fate will depend on what happens with Indiana Fire, and also, I guess, AFC Cleveland on Sunday. Derizic, the 2 number 4, is battling for the ball just before the 40-yard line. Skied over the top. Neither Tommy Beck nor Riley Grant are pressuring very high up the pitch for AFC Cleveland. Slotemaker has time to go forward. Serves the ball up towards Brett Larock. Colt Larock wins it, and McVeigh plays square to Rosano. Rosano flicks over Nate Schultz's head, but James Haupt is first to that one. McFadden serves a long ball. It's won cleanly by Nate Schultz. Manfoot's after it. Keeps the ball in play and sees Tom Beck up the wing. Well done by Manfoot. Beck's first touch is terrible. Then bounces out of bounds. Tom Beck was already trying to decide what he was going to do next and couldn't bring the ball under control, and it hit his left foot and bounced out of play.
Ball kind of getting bogged down in midfield when it gets there. No one really making any kind of decisive tackles or moves so far.
Menesio to Manfoot, pushed aside by Adam Lauco, and wins the throw-in. Lauco trying to throw in for Larock down the line. Haupt is there, keeps the ball in play. Well done by James Haupt. Gets the ball back, plays to his center back partner Long. Long will push forward, displays square to Robbie Dambrot. Dambrot cuts Danzy inside. Tries to drive the ball down the line, nicely done by Kevin Kepik. Flicked ahead by Chris Walter. Hard for Dylan McVane to deal with, though. McVane can't get a clean touch, and AFC Cleveland possesses. The Royals building up out of the back, looking for a go-ahead goal. Menesio stripped away by Chris Walter, who goes to ground. You hold your breath a little bit when Chris Walter, when he's on a yellow card, when he goes to ground like that, especially in a game like this where you know the referee is not afraid in the least to pull out another card.
Yeah, I mean, Chris has a reputation as a hard tackler, but really, I'd say a vast majority of the tackles he's made coming in sliding or just hard in general have been well won and clean and well measured and well executed.
Slotemaker with an important tackle there to win. Also finds a teammate. Danzy plays down the line, too far for Brett LaRock, but Colton Long can only play that out of play. Kevin Kappick to throw for FC Buffalo. Number 2 throws into Brett LaRock. LaRock given away again by FC Buffalo. There's Suljevic. Suljevic forward to Manfoot. Manfoot sees a wide run from Nate Schultz. The goal scorer from the second half. He plays ahead to Tom Beck. Beck has Schultz continuing his run with him on the right side. Beck intercepted by Adam Lauko. Not the best ball there by Beck. FC Buffalo can't string passes to move the ball out of their own end, and there's Derizic with it. Derizic to Menesio, but a good shield by Anthony Rosano to win that ball back. Forward to LaRock. LaRock lays off towards Rosano. That's picked off by Derizic. Nate Schultz forward. Here's a chance to run at the defense for Suljevic. Suljevic wide to Manfoot. Manfoot will serve in, but Fox Slotemaker reads that well. Positioned beautifully there to clear that from danger. Good first touch by James Haupt, who wheels away from pressure from Anthony Rosano now, who's the highest player up the pitch. LaRock moving to the left wing, interestingly. Riley Grant for AFC Cleveland. Scored a goal against FC Buffalo last year. It's Derizic, the midfield maestro for AFC Cleveland. Pokes the ball towards the run of Menesio, but that's poked away from danger by Chris Walter. Here's Manfoot. Drives the ball, blocked by his teammate, Sergio Menesio, and out of bounds for a goal kick.
Looks like Manny Ferguson getting ready to come in.
FC Buffalo substitution, number 14, Manu Ferguson. For number 16, Anthony Rosano.
Really good 77 minutes there for Anthony Rosano tonight. Didn't find himself on the score sheet, but he really works. FC Buffalo's changed, or season changed, quite a bit when Rosano came into the camp. Provided him a sure starter, a naturally left-footed player, a guy who can really play both ways. And it's really impressed with Rosano this year.
Yeah, he did well tonight to, make that first goal happen and, look threatening down the left. But we'll see if Matt Ferguson can't come in and...
Nice interception by Kevin Kappick. FC Buffalo can counter. Plays forward to LaRock. LaRock, nice turn to his left side. Scoots past James Haupt. Has it on his left. Plays the ball in, deflected away by Colton Long of AFC Cleveland. Moment of excitement as you see FC Buffalo fans begin to come to their feet a little bit as Brett LaRock received that ball, turned in nicely, drove down the left side and tried to have a cross.
Yeah, I thought LaRock was going to try to play through the center there, but he found some space on the outside and used his speed to round the corner, but just couldn't get a clean shot.
It's a long throw-in, won by Menesio. Forward to Antonio Manfoot. It's a 2-on-3 if Cleveland wants to hurry. Manfoot has Nanu Ferguson chasing back after him. Jabari Danzy heads back dangerously towards Fox Slotemaker. Slotemaker, best he can do is hit it outside, but he'll be able to keep the ball in play. A very cerebral play by the center back. Then he almost gives it away, but Kevin Kappa gets his body in front of Riley Grant. Grant pushes him to the floor, and would not be shocked if the referee went to his pocket here.
You have to if you're going to card the entire Buffalo squad. Or maybe not.
No card coming to Riley Grant. FC Buffalo's supporters group, the Situation Room, pleading for a yellow, but we will not see it. Cleveland saw Brian Potoknik will enter the fray here in the 79th. He replaces who I believe to be Antonio Manfoot.
Yeah, I've been really heads-up play under pressure by Slotemaker. Kind of made me jump out of my seat just because it felt very dicey. But he knew what he was doing. Got it to the right-hand side of the Buffalo defense, and drew that foul.
It is Antonio Manfoot, but Potoknik, who enters the game, is almost equally as dangerous of a player. Coughlin sends the ball forward. McVane gets his body in front of that nicely. Eric Dahl slots Brett LaRock through, but the ball goes back to Ivanov, Adam Lauko wrestling for the ball, but Patoknik gets a nice first touch to it. There's Tom Beck running at the FC Buffalo defense. Spins away from pressure. Plays square to Patoknik on the right side. Patoknik one-on-one with Lauko. Serves the ball across the top. Menesio with a drive, and that one goes over the goal. A good challenge from Chris Walter to make that strike. Not easy for Menesio.
Yeah, it's the type of thing we didn't see on Cleveland's opening goal, that softness at the top of the area, but Walter did a good job of closing down the shot.
We're in the 80th minute, 2-2 between FC Buffalo and AFC Cleveland. Thank you for joining us on WNYmedia.net and 91.3 FM WBNY. Thank you to our sponsor, Pallet Services, Inc. as well. Admir Slijevich ahead for Cleveland, plays the ball nicely down the line for Brian Patoknik, but Tom Beck gets to it first. Now Patoknik overlaps. Beck will play back to Nate Schultz. Schultz plays Patoknik's feet. Now Slijevich curls the ball in. Menesio with a header, and that one just flies over the bar. Cleveland starting to generate opportunities in the final third, Russ.
Yeah.
Patoknik making an immediate difference as a sub.
Yeah, a lot of space to exploit. Cleveland was doing well to find those flighted balls all evening, and Menesio, a very athletic, physical player in the area, got his head on it. Luckily, the shot wasn't true, but Buffalo just kind of saw their season flash in front of their eyes just there.
Slotemaker up to Eric Dahl. Dahl tries to chest down for Danzy. Danzy gets to it and keeps it in play as well. He's dashing down the right side, tries to split two Cleveland defenders, but Robbie Dambrot is there. Dahl gives it away now to Derzik. Derzik to Patoknik, who plays over to James Haupt. Now Nate Schultz on the right wing. Schultz cuts inside as Brett LaRocque chasing back though. Intercepted by Adam Lauko right at midfield. Plays LaRocque. LaRocque tries to find Dahl inside. That's intercepted by Patoknik. Now a 50-50 ball goes back to James Haupt. Haupt to Mike Derzik. There's a run up the left side from Robbie Dambrot. Derzik goes to the other side. Plays Patoknik. Patoknik with a good first touch. Now he slips in. Tom Beck gets past McFadden, one-on-one with the keeper. McFadden gets him from behind, and the ref will point to the spot. That's a penalty and probably a red card to McFadden. It's McFadden's second yellow card, but it was a straight red regardless. The ref didn't pull out that second yellow, and a penalty kick for AFC Cleveland is really going to call to test Andrew Coughlin here to keep FC Buffalo's playoff hopes alive.
And even then, just what a terrible way to end the regular season for Kendall McFadden. He's done so much for the club this year. He's played so well, and the referee not really calling the game both ways in regards to yellow cards tonight. Kind of giving them out like candy on what was a pretty innocuous foul earlier on.
It was a straight red there, Russ.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's going on tonight?
It's going to be Admir Slijevich, who scored on a PK last week against FC Indiana. Be going against FC Buffalo keeper and Canisius College keeper Andrew Coughlin. Coughlin coming out of his box, doing a little talking. Trying to go with a Tim Krul route to stopping PKs. Coughlin on the line. The referee blows his whistle for Slijevich. He'll step up to it. He goes right in, saved by Andrew Coughlin. Coughlin gets right, going to his left. Sprawled and punched that ball away, bailing out Kendall McFadden.
Andrew Coughlin, my word.
Magical moment for the FC Buffalo keeper.
Big moments, big players. He's been there for Buffalo in the clutch all season long, saving a point on the road against Cleveland earlier this year, and now maybe saving the season.
Ross, great drama here.
Oh my God.
Already Rittenall High Stadium. Andrew Coughlin stopping a penalty kick to protect a 2-2 scoreline, keep FC Buffalo with some hope the playoffs.
It's going to be a hard task. 10 minutes left.
Derzik with a drive blocked by Slotemaker. Now it's forward to Jabari Danzy, headed down by Colton Long. Riley Grant will be able to go forward now for Cleveland. FC Buffalo down to 10 men, remember, after that red card. Kevin Kapik fights off Robbie Dambrot. A great tackle by Kevin Kapik, who now has a couple words for him as well. Matt Nanu Ferguson now on the left side. Tries to drive the ball forward, but that's blocked. Falls to Naguki. who just entered the match for AFC Cleveland. Cleveland possessing in their own half, right to Derizic in midfield. Jabari Danzy steps in nicely, wins the ball. Now it's played forward over the top. Ivanov stays in his cage, but headed back to him by James Haupt.
Barak doing well, the pressure there.
Now Dambrot surging up the left side. Kevin Kapik with a tackle. I'm not sure he got all ball, but he got enough to win it. Kapik has been very good since entering this game. Eric Dahl fighting defensively on Riley Grant. Menesio though, over to Derizic. Derizic swings wide. That's Nate Schultz up from his right back position. Schultz inside, plays over to Ferguson. Naguki, excuse me. Naguki over to Robbie Dambrot. Dambrot. Kevin Kapik uses his body nicely to get in front of Dambrot going down the line, but it's out of bounds for a corner kick for AFC Cleveland. FC Buffalo without Kendall McFadden now will have to really defend this corner kick well. The onus on Fox Slotemaker. Set piece taken quickly, won by Dylan McVeigh. Just clearing it from danger is McVeigh.
You know, the adrenaline's pumping right now and the fans are singing, but again, Buffalo's kind of in a catch-22 here because the win is the thing that you have to get. You know, a draw is really not going to be that great.
Suljevic, nice ball to Riley Grant. Riley Grant gets in front of Eric Dahl, but that one's kicked away from danger as well. 86th minute now, the score is still tied 2-2.
You know, Coach Murphy, I think, had a calculated gamble with throwing on McVeigh and also Eric Dahl to see if they could, you know, I know they don't have the match sharpness, but they have the tools, and so far they really haven't found the rhythm into the game. And right now, there's really not a lot of ways forward for FC Buffalo to try and spring Danzy or LaRock. So we'll have to see in these last maybe 7 minutes if Buffalo can string some passes together and try to spring those two.
FC Buffalo's players standing on their bench, their substitutes. Many guys who've been subbed out already. You can tell the tension is mounting all over the place here at All High Stadium. Derizic spinning away from pressure. He loses Eric Dahl very nicely on the turn. Sees Menesio. Menesio knocked to ground. No foul called. Here's Eric Dahl with a chance to go forward. A good ball forward to Brett LaRock. LaRock has an odd man rush if he hurries. Jabari Danzy's with him. LaRock runs right into Colton Long. The referee says play on. LaRock has a shot at goal. Ivanov there. A good run from Brett LaRock. Ended up pushing the defender. No call. But LaRock had a shot on goal, but Ivanov was there. Cleveland now going the other way here in the 88th minute. Menesio on the right wing. Back to Nate Schultz. Naguki, who tries to play inside, intercepted by FC Buffalo. It's Brett LaRock trying to pick out Jabari Danzy, cannot connect, and Nate Schultz just drives that ball forward. McVeigh gets ahead to it, but it falls to Naguki in midfield. Naguki over to Dambrot.
What a painful place to be for Buffalo, wanting to push forward, but knowing that a loss is going to be so much exponentially worse than getting out of here with a point, which is not that great.
Nate Schultz dribbles to the end line, cuts back inside. Help from Nanu Ferguson. Ball laid back. Sent across. Derizic there. Derizic tries to play a 1-2. He's in. Sliding tackle by Chris Walter. Knocks that ball from danger.
The pins and needles here.
Center referee running over to the FC Buffalo bench. Speaking with the fourth official, not exactly sure what it was for. They're pointing at the FC Buffalo bench, telling them to sit down. Brian Knapp being yelled at.
There goes Brian. I mean, come on, man. They're standing on the bench. I'm not sure it's a super vital thing to keep track of.
Throw in regardless. Menesio has it. Menesio going diagonally across top of the box. Has a crack at goal, and the Cleveland has scored Sergio Menesio in the 89th minute rifles a shot over the arms of Andrew Coughlin into the right upper 90, and it's 3-2 Cleveland, and FC Buffalo's playoff hopes may have just been crushed.
Yeah, that's a dagger. You want to talk about Andrew Coughlin just really selling out and doing everything he could to really keep this club afloat. And 90th minute at home, final game of the season. That's tough.
FC Buffalo down 3-2. Sergio Menesio's strike in the 89th minute brings the Royals up 3-2. FC Buffalo will have to push all 10 of their guys forward now. Kevin Kapik back to Chris Walter. Walter serves the ball towards Jabari Danzy. Dambrot's there to head out of bounds. FC Buffalo will throw in. Eric Dahl gets in front of the Cleveland players, poked away by Derzic though. Up to Menezio. Chris Walter bulls him over. There's a foul on Walter. Walter better be careful because he has a yellow already too. Nothing further for Walter, but a set piece coming up for AFC Cleveland. We're in stoppage time. I haven't seen the referee put up any numbers in terms of how much time is left.
Well, if the results hold, if Buffalo doesn't find a goal or two in the next 2 minutes or what have you, Cleveland would go to third. Buffalo will still be in the playoffs in fourth, but again,
as we currently stand,
2 Indiana games and 1 more Cleveland game. So Indiana has to drop one of those games for Buffalo to maintain fourth.
And Russ, Indiana has, is it Minnesota United reserves, which was the game they were supposed to play tonight?
They have Cincy away tomorrow.
Yes.
And yes, tonight they are supposed to go up against Minnesota United reserves.
And they have 18 points, and FC Buffalo will stay at 22. So FC Buffalo needs a loss, absolutely,
yes,
from Indiana.
Yes.
Kapik over to Slotemaker, dispossessed. There's Derzic with it.
Or 2 draws.
Chris Walter slips forward towards Jabari Danzy. The Colton Long is there, clears out of danger. We're in stoppage time. AFC Cleveland leading 3-2 on the 89th minute Sergio Menesio strike. Slotemaker plays forward, bounces in the box. McVeigh can't quite get to it. Suljevic almost clears from danger, but Eric Dahl gives that ball away, trying to play it square on the left side.
Yeah, bad ball from Dahl there.
Cleveland moving forward now. Riley Grant lays off wide to Menesio. Menesio roaming forward, has Chris Walter coming after him. Very nimble and moving away from pressure. Now shields off, plays to Naguki, but the ball bounces off of trailing LaRock and out of play for a Cleveland throw. Throwing for Dambrot. It's gone quiet here at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium.
A lot of anger.
Naguki switches sides. This ball, Potoknik. Potoknik back to Nate Schultz. Schultz back to Potoknik. To Suljevic now. Suljevic in the box with Potoknik running with him. Good defense there by, looks to be Kevin Kapik. Brett LaRock over to Chris Walter now. Walter surging down the right side. Good ball. It's forward to Adam Lauko now. Lauko has Walter to his right. Jabari Danzy in the box. Now the ball's played to Walter. Walter serves the ball to the back post. Danzy with a header just wide of the goal. Great ball from Chris Walter. Jabari Danzy's header just wide of the right post. Probably the best chance that FC Buffalo is going to see here in stoppage time. Yeah. Just inches wide.
Time just slowed down. That looping header.
Danzy has a flair for the dramatic goals. He's the one who scored that sent SIU Edwardsville to the NCAA tournament this year. You can find that on YouTube.
Sports Center top 10.
Similar play as well. Ivanov skies forward. Chris Walter's after, but so is Menesio. Menesio gets inside of him, and Walter brings him down, and he's going to go off with a red now too. There's that red to Walter.
I'm not sure if the referee understands. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it a red card, but I don't know. Ben, I don't like to bag on referees too much, but it's very frustrating.
Now there's some talk, and Suljevic says something, and Coughlin's pushing him, and There's a little skirmish here, and frustration starting to boil over for FC Buffalo. Hopefully they can keep their poise here.
Yeah, we mentioned
Now Riley Grant going after Coughlin.
over the course of this year.
Red card given to Coughlin now for dissent.
This is ridiculous. The referees lost complete control of this game.
3 red cards.
It's embarrassing.
And it's full time. FC Buffalo loses 3-2 to AFC Cleveland. A goal in the 89th minute by Sergio Menesio seals the deal for AFC Cleveland. Still some hope for FC Buffalo to get to the postseason, but that depends on what the Indiana Fire does. So pay attention to the NPSL website and the Indiana Fire's Twitter account and root against them if you want FC Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll see with Cincy tomorrow. Might have a Sunday doubleheader, so as long as Cincy holds up the end of the bargain, we could still be talking about a trip to wherever the NPSL playoffs are going to be this year.
Now Brendan Murphy and Bob Roach going after the referees as they walk to the locker room, but frustrated fan base here at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. FC Buffalo loses 3-2 to AFC Cleveland. Thank you for joining us on WNYmedia.net and 91.3 FM WBNY all year long. I'm Ben Sujimoto for Russ Andolina. Have a good night.